Right, feedermasters, Carmel Dam. We've drawn peg 14. Don't actually know where we wanted to draw today. Everyone at draw were like, oh, you want to be here, you want to be there. So people were saying round it in 80s, 7, 8, 9. 2 years ago I qualified off 12. 2 pegs to my left, but we're coloured then. It's absolutely gene cleaner. So I don't actually know what's going to happen. It's a bit of a parrot cage of a peg. There's not much room to put anything. I've got 2 lines, 20 metres and 45 metres. I'm gonna set off fishing at 20 metres for anything that swims and see what we can catch, see how the day's going. I'm going to put a little bit of bait out at 45, and if I could catch some fish out there, I was just looking, I thought I saw one top then, but weren't actually a grebe. If I start to catch some fish at 20 metres, I can up my feed at 45 knowing I can leave it for longer, but I don't want to put too much in and not give myself a chance of catching a fish. I might have to catch a couple of bonus fish, so I might be fishing a method at 45 metres. But it's just going to be a suck it at sea, take it as it comes, catch what we can and work us way in. I think the talk is you're going to need in between £10 and £16 to qualify. There were a match yesterday on Other Bank, £17 won it, £9 second, I think there were £6 or £8 third, so not a lot, only 6-7 fish. So a lot of people are going to be confident that they can catch a few bonus fish along with their little fish, but what have we got? We've 8 more minutes to go, so just going to prep my bait, feed my bit at the start, and then let's see how we got first hour and we'll check in. Hopefully there's bites to be had. If not, I think we're going to be taking a gamble and putting it on rest with method and leaving it alone. We'll see. Bait wise, I've got a few floating maggots, some ground bait, some pinkies, and a few pellets that are prepped in case I need to chuck a method out. I'm going to go steady with chopworm. I'm going to put it in as an impact bait. I don't think it's a chopwormy time of year here, and it doesn't sound like it's working, so I don't want to spoil it before I start. So we'll introduce that to see if it gets a response. But other than that, we don't know. The 80s where people want us to be, and the 90s are just round this point here. They've got a bit more depth there, I believe. But I don't think they caught them super long, so they might be. I've got about 10 or 12 foot where I'm fishing, I reckon. Maybe a little bit more, but not much more. Not that deep, but deep enough to hold a few fish, so fingers crossed. So for anyone who doesn't know how feedermasters works, there's 60 peg match split into 3 zones. Got to win your zones qualify for the big money final down at Tamar, 15 grand for winner. So everyone in this match is just there to qualify. We're not there to do anything else. So all you've got to do is win your 20 pegs and qualify for finals. So that is our target for today. So like I said, I've set off on my 20 metre line, fishing for anything that swims. Rig I'm using today is really simple. It's a little free running rig. Got a braid on my reel line and got a 1 metre length of shocker, which is made of 6 pound detection. That's down to a 0.128 Newfish exact hook length and an 18 hook. Got a little boom what my feeder sits on. Dead simple free running rig, shows you bites up well. There's no bolt effect rig, so there's not much resistance for the fish to pull it through. I've got this on both of my feeder rigs today for long and short, and then my method is just 5 pound detection straight through to my method. Couldn't be any more simple.
One hour in, and I've had one little roach and one little perch, no other bites, no other signs. Obviously, I didn't see much else being caught, but obviously there's not a lot, there's no skimmers there straight away, so little bite there, tiny little fish. So what we're going to do is introduce a few worms now and see if it makes a difference, because definitely they're not going to win anything. So we'll introduce a few worms now and see if we get a quick response from it. We've chopped them really fine. Don't really want to feed them, just want it to be an impact, a bit of smelling water. And by chopping them really fine, we're going to put it in and not going to fill them up if there is a few fish there as quick. Not the sort of fish we were trying to get with a response off worms. We'll put another blob in there. Try this for a couple of casts, then we'll put this feed really down and put a tiny little feed in. See if,
So I could not get a bite on my short line, so it's time to try the 45 metre line.
So after an hour and a half, I've had to go out long because I've had 5 tiny little fish trying to catch skimmers and anything that swims on my short line. Just weren't happening. I felt there were a couple of fish in my pegs. I felt I've gone through them as I've casted through water. Whether they were skimmers or not, I don't know, but nothing were feeding. So I've had to go out earlier on the line where I fed some fish. Very first chuck, 2 maggots. I've had a skimmer on a conventional rig. I've just fed pellets and casters out there, so I haven't put anything in to attract any small fish. Quite a few casters and pellets actually. That's why I thought I'd be leaving that alone for a good 2.5, 3 hours. But I've had to go on it early, and I had a little sign on my second chuck. So, but it's weird, I'm only like at 20 and 45 metres, so it's probably shallower at 45 than it is at 20. A tad shallower, but not much difference in it. But I just felt that I would have been leaving that a lot longer. But there's been a skimmer on it, I've caught it, and whether there's been some fish there feeding, I don't know. So I'm going to have a couple of chucks on this conventional. Not going to put any worms out there yet. I'm just going to leave it because I'm going to have a little cast with a method as well, and either a wafter or some banded maggots, and just see if there is a bream or there's something, and have a plop around with that before I start fishing, putting some worms in. So I'll give this another couple of chucks because I've had a bite and a sign. We'll see what happens, and we'll have a go with method and see if we can catch something. But I've spoke to a couple of lads, and there's 3 on my bank that are blanking to my right. One at lad's on the other side, he's under a pound, just with a few small fish, so nobody's really seen much being caught. So I don't want to push it, and I don't need to, so I'm just going to steady away this and then have a few long chucks on a method, see if I can bore one onto hook and see what happens, see how they want it. Then I'll do a bit of chasing around my bait and around where I've fed some things, see if there's any fish to be picked off. So coming up to 2 hours gone now. We're an hour and 3/4 in. It's not ideal being on this long line already, but needs must, and I've got to put something in net. So we'll see how this next half an hour goes. See whether we stay on this or come off it and rest it and try something different. So 4.5 minutes into my 3rd chuck, and it's gone round again. The sign in my 2nd chuck, and then my 3rd chuck, I'm playing a little skimmer again now. So it's gone from can't get a bite to it looks like there might be a few fish to work out. Whether it's thirsty on line, but it's definitely a positive that I haven't had roach bites or little fish bites out there. The 2 bites I've had had 1 8-ounce, and then whatever this is I'm playing, it's probably going to be about the same. They're not bream, but they're not swinger roach. Not a big fish by any means, little skimmers, but they're the skimmers I wanted to catch on my short line. Whether they'll come into that short line early, I might actually put a bit of feed in it now on that short line, because nothing happened by not putting feed in. So I'm actually going to put some feed in and see if them little skimmers will come onto that line. We'll keep out on this line and see what happens. We're just fishing 2 floating maggots. I don't know if you can see them. casters in the feed. I'm not putting any more pellets in, I feel I've got enough pellets in. But we'll just plug away, see how this goes, and then take it from there.
Just been fishing double maggot. We've found that's way better than anything else. I haven't had a bite on a worm yet. I wanted to catch on some worms, 2 red worms, but they just won't get a bite. It's just 2 floating red maggots, so a red maggot and a fluoro pinker.
And it was too early to go out. You know how much bait I put out there? So I've just chucked out the 2 maggots on the conventional art. It's hit deck and gone round first choke. Caught a little skimmer, like Jesus. And I've had missed a bite, then caught another skimmer, and then I've come off one and never had another bite. So I thought, well, I'd fed note on the inside line, you know, a short line. So I put 3 good feeders in full of casters and pellets on that line. I've left it alone for 20 minutes. I've gone on it. First chuck, I've had one of them weird signs, you know, when it hits bottom and it's looked. I didn't know what were happening. I've gone over back of one. I know what I've done. I've dragged one down. Second chuck, I've just had a skimmer 8 or 9 ounce, and third chuck, I've just had another skimmer. I hadn't fed off, didn't even realise that. Right, we're 2 3/4 hours in. When I went long after an hour and a half, I had them first 3 chucks, and I had 3 bites, and there were signs. I then went 20 minutes without even a sign, chopped and changed around, tried to make it happen. Nothing. I just think there were a few fish off my bait, so I fed a few pellets and a few casters short, same as what I'd done long on my little plopping line, thinking at least some skimmers come over where there'd been some pellets. And then, out of desperation, I've dropped back on that line, and I literally had 3 skimmers in 3 puts. Not massive fish, but I hadn't had a sign of a skimmer when I was fishing on that line, and then it sort of replicated what happened out there. On this line I had 3 chucks, and 4th, 5th and 6th chuck there's been nothing, whereas the 3 chucks I had under a minute bites, and now there's nothing there. So I might just start doing a little bit of rotating, seeing if I can pick fish off each line now. Might just want leaving alone for 5 or 6, 10 minutes in between fish, and just let them come back in. It might be because it's really clear that they don't want to settle. when you make multiple casts, you might be feeding ground bait, and bits of particles that are coming off mid-depth might be dragging the fish off the bottom. So it's not the fact that the fish have gone. They might have lifted up in the water trying to chase the bait and not want to sit on bottom. So it's a very weird one, because I couldn't get in quick enough for 5 minutes, and then 15 minutes without a bite. Very strange. I've heard there's people with, someone's got a dozen skimmers to my left, so that could be five or six, maybe £10, depending on how big they are. So we need to have a little run of fish or catch a brown one. I'm going to have a little go on a method in a minute, so see if we can get towed in on the long line and take it from there. But at minute, not much is happening. We've got 2 hours 15 minutes left, so still enough time for some bream turn up. Can catch quite quick here, but these little skimmers aren't, unless they really rock up. I'm not going to catch a weight of these. Too few and far between.
So it's time to have a little go on the method. We haven't seen a bream being caught or heard of one being caught, but you never know. We've still got to give ourselves a chance of catching one, so we're going to have a little go on this and see what happens. Hopefully we get towed in, but not feeling very optimistic about it, to be honest. So we're fishing half pellets, half ground bait, and a little pink wafter on. Hopefully this will entice one into sticking his head down and having a little feed. Just as we thought, we had 3 chucks on this for nothing. Not even a sign, not a line, and not a bite. So we're going to put a smaller hook on and find a line for us, a long line, and really fish hard for the last bit of the match.
just like Boston were guaranteed by. Bang on 1 hour to go. This is not happening. I have 7 skimmers and 6 little fish. I've had another good shot and I never got a bite, only off a tiny little roach, and I fished method for quite a bit. I got a couple of liners and so I fished method for a little bit, but I don't think they were liners off big fish. I think they just ended up being liners off small fish because I had 3 10-minute chugs. It never actually never got a liner on that, so, or even a split. So I went back on conventional, caught a little skimmer. I phoned a few people and nobody's saying anything's getting caught, so you can hear that music. There's some band playing in pub. I think we'd be being better off going to Moser instead of coming here. But there's an hour left now. If you could just get little brownie, 2-pounder, to just pull you back in it. So I don't think there's going to be a run of skimmers happen. So I've only had 7 all through match. I can't see me having an hour, last hour, where all of a sudden some rock up and I catch 10. Don't look like it's going to happen, but if you could just have someone come over your bait, you just catch a nice fish, you're back in this. I just spoke to Steve Whitfield, he's above me, in the 30s. He hasn't had a bite. He has not even had a sign. It's fish for a little fish, it's fish for a big fish. Nobody around him had a bite, which just means they don't want to come into this arm shallower than the main body of the lake. It used to be good pegs when they were coloured, but now it seems to run clear this lake. They don't want to push up this arm, or if they do, I reckon they're getting spooked dead easy. Sitting mid-depth because it's clear and they're chasing it around. Definitely not, they're not on the feed. But we're going to keep plugging away. We're going to set that short line up again, have a little go on this and just keep rotating, trying to pick odd little fish off. The skimmers aren't big, that's it. It's not like they're all 8 to 10 ounce, but some of them are really small. We need a miracle from something. Bream miracle. 1 would be nice, 2 would be even better. But never say never. Got to be in it to win it, and whenever we're in water, we have a chance. Fingers crossed. So we're into the last half an hour now. I have 10 skimmers and a few little fish. There's the odd fish in my peg now, but they're not very big, they're not big enough. I'm pushing it a little bit with mate now, putting some more worms through, putting some casters through. I'm just trying to catch a bigger fish, but I don't think there's one there. There's definitely a few little skims there, but not a lot. I've got 2 red worms on now. I've had a couple on red worms, but they've been no bigger. I feel there isn't big fish there to catch, to be honest. And I feel I'll need it, definitely. But can I do what we're going to do? There's half an hour left. We're still trying to catch one, but time's definitely running out. The size of the skimmers we've got aren't going to be big enough to compete. We're definitely on borrowed time now. We're in desperation mode. We're going to have this chuck and then we're going to peel a few metres off and go into some clean ground behind us bait, just to see if we can catch a bit of fish there. We're definitely not coming over his feet today, or they're not there. I dare say they're not there today. I feel you need deeper water, but you never know. We'll see. Last half an hour. Yeah, not looking good. Just had a lovely pull round then, 2 worms on. Thought, here we go. Nope, a small skimmer. Thought that were it then. Thought we were 3 o'clock. But I missed that bite. I said it was definitely a big fish. The way it pulled it round. Would have never thought that would have given me the bite. Well, that's the all out. I've ended up scores on the doors are 12 skimmers, 6 other little fish. Just I don't think I've ever been in it. Definitely some more bites the last hour and I've started to push my peg, but could be a time of day thing, but they're not very big fish. 12 little hand-sized skimmers and 6 other fish, but we'll live and learn, and let's get packed up now. Me and Steve will nip back and see the result, have a quick pint and see what they weigh. I don't know what has actually been caught elsewhere. I spoke to a few people who've all said they've caught nothing. It's been a bit grim, but never mind, someone's got to win it. So the results are in and we had £4.8. A bit gutted actually, because £4.12's won my money section, but £7 has won the zone. We were only there to win the zone. We only wanted to qualify, that's all we needed to do. We're not there for any other reason. So, but £4.8, £7, and I just feel if we'd have fished it a little bit different, if we'd have been a bit more cuter, if we'd have been a bit more tighter with feed at start, could we have caught £7? You never know. £2 odd off qualifying, probably about another 5 or 6 skimmers. Could I have caught it? I definitely think so, yeah. But you can't win them all, and we felt we had to catch a bream, so we gave ourselves the chance of catching a bream, and it never happened. But we made his bed, we lied in it, and that's how fishing goes. If we could fish the match again, fishing for £7, my skimmers were on that long line. I didn't want them on that long line, but that's, you have to fish where they want to be. So
just goes to show you never know where the fish are going to rock up or how you've got to catch them. So if we'd adjusted as feeding and as tactics a little bit earlier, could we have caught £7? Maybe, but you never know. We felt we did our best today and gave ourselves a chance, but hindsight is a beautiful thing. You just never know. I've come off bank today thinking, I think I've left a few behind and I might have been able to catch £7, but you never know. Onwards and upwards, on to the next one. Can't win them all and got to be in it to win it.